How's it, everyone? Wayne the Known here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. I'm doing another segment on Get to Know That Cosplayer, and I'm joined by California cosplayer Hayes Hobbies. How are you doing, Hay?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Hi, everybody.
Again, thank you for coming on to Cosplay Con Talks. Get to know that cosplayer. Basically, this segment is what we basically finding out what it's like being a cosplayer, how long you've been doing it for, the cons you've gone to, the conventions, the cosplays you've done, experiences, advice, and all that sort of stuff. So to begin, how long have you been cosplaying for, and what made you get into cosplay?
So, I've been cosplaying for about 3.5 years now, I would say. Um, my first ever convention was Roseville Comic Con in 2019. Uh, and ever since then, I've been hooked.
Nice. So you've been cosplaying. You said since 2019. So
Yeah, I
almost.
think that
So
was
you've
the
been going
first.
on for.
I believe it was summer Roseville Comic Con in 2019. So it was like end of 2019.
Almost 4 years now.
Oh, it's been that long,
Nice.
huh?
Well, you said 2019. Sorry, I'm like
I want to
just
I want to say
I was distracted by
it was
your.
either 2019 or 2020. I don't know. Everything with the pandemic's a little fuzzy for me.
Sorry, I got distracted by your cat in the background just a few
Oh
minutes
no,
ago. They're just like
it's
clawing on
fine.
the. So you said your first con was Roseville?
Yeah, so it was Roseville Comic Con at the Roeblin Center.
Well, I think I've heard of that a few times. What was it like back then in 2019 when you first went?
It was still pretty fun, you know. I feel like it was really good as a first time con goer to go to one of the smaller scale ones, but I think it's still, even if it is a little bit smaller, I think it still is a really great introduction to what conventions are all about. You know, you meet a bunch of new people, you get to see a bunch of cool cosplayers, you get to see a bunch of vendors and all the people in Artists Alley. Uh, so like this, even though a lot of people are like, oh, it's so small though, like it's so lame. I for one enjoy it. I enjoyed it as a first time goer, and I enjoy it now because it's a nice break to have a smaller convention in between, so it's not just like go go go, there's hundreds of vendors, hundreds of people, super exhilarating. It's nice to go out and be like, oh, let me just browse around the vendors and I can say hi to people and not like bump into a bunch of people all the time. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend.
Nice. Um, so how many conventions have you gone to altogether, if you can remember?
Ooh, uh, like each individual one or just like general conventions?
General conventions.
General. Probably gonna have to give you an estimate number. So there's like the Roseville Comic Cons, there's SAC Animes, there's Stockton Con,
I've heard of
there's
Stockton Con.
I went to one of the Ohana cons one time. So for counting, I think there's usually always two, sometimes three SAC animes a year. They didn't do. I think they've only done Roseville Comic Con. Like I've only been to two of them. I think they don't do it as often. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I want to say around 10 to 15 that I can remember.
Well, that's a lot. I think a question I'm also gonna start asking: what's been your favorite so far? I mean, I know a lot of people say all of them are my favorite, but do you have like any specific favorites that you always like going back to?
So it's definitely SAC anime because it's the closest one to me, so it's I don't have to worry about traveling super far. And it was one of my first, bigger conventions. So yeah, I'd probably say that's my most favorite, but it's probably because that's the one that I go to the most. I think Stockton Con has to be a close second, but that's just because I'm a little bit more on the like comic booky side of it rather than the anime side. I do like, some anime stuff, but not as much as like, like Marvel and all that stuff.
Nice. Have you been to one of the other cons in SAC? Have you been to SACCon at all before?
I have actually. That's probably one that I forgot to mention. Yeah, I have been to that one.
It's a
Uh,
smaller con, so it's understandable.
yeah, definitely. I kind of wish that that one would be a little bit bigger, or at least like, oh, maybe not make it, because I know at least when I went, it's in the same building as SAC Anime, but they use a different part of it.
Yeah, they only use like the first floor, the back area, and then one of the halls for like
Right.
everything.
It would be cool if they made it like a 3-day one, kind of like SAC Anime, just 3 days of fun. Even if it's not like, oh, we have to have the big the bigger area like SAC Anime does. I think I could get my fun out of 3 days worth instead. I think they usually only do two, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think it's when I went back in 2017, it was a 1-day con.
Oh, it was a 1 day. Yeah, it was. I was
Yeah.
trying to remember. I know it's like 1 or 2 days.
So another question I always ask, what for first time con goers, whether they want to go to and this is actually now this is actually be a two-parter. For con goers who want to go to a con, what advice would you want to give? And for cosplayers who are wanting to go to a con, what advice would you like to give?
So, for your average goer, I would suggest, um, I guess specifically if you plan on getting signatures, I would suggest not doing them on Saturday because that's when everyone else is getting their signatures because that's the one day that everyone's going. But I understand for some people they only like to go 1 day, so the one day they go is Saturday, which is probably why a lot of people are getting
Oh
signatures on that
yeah.
day. So the alternative to that would
S-
be definitely try and find a time frame that not a lot of people are going for. Typically, as you get later into the day, their lines get shorter. I remember my sister and I were walking around just this past SAC Anime. We were thinking about, hopping in line for Jillian Michaels. And we're like, okay, we
Who is
wanted to.
she? Who's she again?
So she voiced young Goku, and I think she did a couple other Dragon Ball characters too.
Oh,
But we
that's
actually
right.
saw her. She also voiced Lloyd the Green Ninja in Ninjago. That was like our childhood show.
Oh, okay.
So
I nice.
so
Nice.
anyways, that whole area, it's really overwhelming to see the amount of people in those lines. So we were kind of like, okay, let's try and see her on Friday. We didn't end up doing that, so we're like, okay, we'll try and see her Sunday. I remember there was some dead time on Saturday in the evening, and we decided, we're like, you know what? Let's go check how long her line is. If it's only like a 20-minute wait, that's fine. We get over there, and there's literally no one at her table. So we get over there, we get our print, get our signature, and we're on our way. And we're like, well, that's another thing to check off the list we don't have to worry about on Sunday. So yeah, definitely, everyone always wants to get their signatures done at the beginning of the day just to get it over with, just to be like, I want to just go wait in that line. I just want to go get it over with. But, and depending on who you're seeing too, they might always have a
Oh,
long line.
oh yeah, I remember Shaq Anime 2019. Roger Craig Smith's line was almost a 2-hour wait.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
not it's like Disneyland. It's like waiting in line.
uh,
But yeah,
uh,
I would suggest for, if you're seeing someone who's relatively always has a long line, but not to the point of like, Roger Craig Smith, or I'm trying to think who else was at this last SAC Anime that they've had a long line pretty much every single time slot. But anyways, if you're looking to get a signature for someone, they might not have a long line in the evening, it's I definitely try and do that.
Depending on their notoriety. Did no, I remember in SAC Anime 2019, they near the lines, like each individual line. I remember there was a free autograph side, or if you brought someone with you, get it signed for free, and then there was the paid autograph side. Did they have that booth where if you pay like $20 in actual cash, you can like basically line jump and not have to wait in lines?
So I didn't go to it in 2019, um, and there was something similar. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a case by case, but they have like a VIP line. So if you get VIP, you hop into the VIP line. If you don't have VIP, you hop into the normal line. But my fiance back when I want to say it was last summer SAC anime, they had all the Apex Legends voice actors, including Roger Craig Smith. What I think at all of their tables they were selling what they called this VIP print. So it had all of the Apex Legends characters that were being there as one print, and they said, you know, if you buy this print, you get to go in the VIP lines. So of course my fiance's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that print. So he got that one print signed along with a couple of his pop figures that he wanted because he was only seeing the Apex voice actors, so it was worth it to get that print, and he was able to breeze through it. I don't know if they still do similar things like that, but I know when he was shocked too because I didn't even know that was a thing either. So I feel like it's definitely case by case basis.
Make Makes sense. Same question for cosplayers who are wanting to go to a convention, whether it's a big one or a small con.
Definitely plan your cosplay accordingly. You know, think about, am I going to need my phone for something throughout the day? Am I gonna need to be warm? Am I gonna need to be cold? I'm lucky enough that my Spider-Man 2099 suit has zippers, so I can unzip it if I need to actively go on my phone. Which, granted, I don't really need to use it a whole lot in the day because I have no service, so I can't use it for anything. But some people do get good service up there, and they might need to call people in their party and be like, "Where are you?" Because big old convention center,
Oh,
it's hard to find.
you can easily get lost, especially in the vendors hall.
Yeah. But yeah, and then plan accordingly for the weather. If you're going to SAC Anime Summer, you probably don't want to wear a cosplay that's got like a bunch of fur or has a turtleneck, and then vice versa. You don't want to wear something that has like no sleeves. You're wearing shorts in the winter time, unless I know there's ways to have like sleeves or like stockings to keep yourself warm. And if you are going to wear those short things, there's no shame in bringing a sweater. I think I was Gohan at this last SAC Anime Winter, and while I do have long pants,
Really
oh,
well
thank
done by
you.
the way.
um, but the top is a tank top. So I brought a sweater, and I'm lucky enough that when you're in the SAC Anime building, crowded around a bunch of people, it does get a little toasty. So I was lucky. I was like, okay, let me just throw my sweater whenever I go walk to where I'm parked, and then once I'm in the convention center, okay, take it off and I'm fine.
Nice. Now, what are your thoughts? I call it. What are your thoughts on the convention exit buddy system? Basically, bringing someone with you to a con in case things just get a little too much.
Yes, you should always bring somebody with you. Uh, I think even if you don't have any like underlying health conditions, like I have like fainting spells and stuff, so it's good to have somebody there so I don't like crack my head open. I haven't had any problems at a convention yet. I mean,
Well, that's good.
there's been times where I get a little bit dizzy, but I think everyone, no matter if you have a condition, you know, tends to forget to drink water because you're so immersed in all of the exciting things that you get to do that you forget to take care of yourself. So definitely having someone there and holding each other accountable, making sure, did you guys eat today? Did you drink water? I think I don't know how people could go to conventions by themselves. I mean, uh, even just besides the fact that of safety, it's always fun to go walk the vendor hall with someone who likes the same things as you and be like, "Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, look at that." Like I can't imagine walking around the vendor hall all by myself. I feel like the excitement of walking around the vendor hall would just be like not completely stripped away, but it would be pretty boring to be thinking, oh, that's cool, but it's all happening in your head. So it's like,
Oh no, I wholeheartedly agree, and I'm sure you also agree that as you mentioned, make sure you have a set budget for this con, because I know there are sometimes people will want to first day buy, or like you said on Saturdays, where I feel like Fridays are like everyone's just getting ready, they're not doing their over the top cosplay. They're just, getting ready to start their con weekend, and then Saturday is like it's packed, it's busy, everyone's in their big, the cosplay they want to do, and then Sundays are kind of like, a recovery day.
right, yeah, and that's as we've kind of gone to the conventions, my friends and I have done. We typically do most of our shopping on Friday and Sunday, just because Saturday is always so jam packed. I mean, we still get a little bit of time, but you know,
Oh, no. From someone who's gone to SAC anime and seen how it can be on Saturday, yeah, you're waiting in long lines. The panel rooms are packed. You're just like try not to. Yeah. Luckily, the convention center has elevators and escalators.
right when they're working or when they're not overpacked. Um, I don't blame them. It's I get it's like safety hazards. You can't have a bunch of people on the escalator and then having it break while they're on it. It's a safety thing. It still sucks when it's like, okay, we're bottlenecking and there's a line for the escalator. It's just it's I don't blame Sac Anime for it, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating.
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, back to the one question. Thoughts on first time convention goers having a set budget. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, so actually, I have a tip for that. So, it's like I said, a lot of conventions that you're going to go to are not going to have service, just because a bunch of people pinging off all the cell phone towers all at once. You're probably not going to have good service. So, sometimes people's card readers aren't going to work, or they're going to be like, okay, it's still loading. It says it's still trying to go through. And then you're just standing there waiting for it to go through, and the poor vendors are like, we don't have any internet. Or even when they're connected to the convention center internet, it's still chugging along. It's struggling because there's a bunch of people here.
Because
I
not
would
all
suggest, and
vendors
and this will help
accept
too with
cash.
your budget, is pulling out cash. Pull out the amount of cash that you intend to spend uh, at SAC Anime. That way, it's something tangible. That way, you can open your wallet and realize, oh, I'm running a little dry. Maybe I need to figure out what my last purchase is going to be. Um, that and knowing that you have a tighter budget, look around, see some. If you see something that is super high price, be like, maybe I'll come back to that if I have enough money. Maybe I'll see something else that I really like a lot better. And again, that just goes back to take the time on Friday to really look around, and maybe buy a couple things, and then come back on Sunday and be like, oh, is it still here? Maybe I'll go back to it and go grab it, instead of just like spend all on spend it all on one day, and then you're just like, oh, well, now I get to look around at the vendor hall and I can't buy anything, and now I'm sad.
Oh, and also, make sure you save money for food because, like, for
Right,
example, when a con has the food areas, the foods can be pricey, so make sure you search to find places around the conventions around the area for food.
right.
So we've talked about basically that. About something I actually started doing recently. Uh, Give me a minute. Give me a minute here. Your podcast won't be out till April.
Okay.
Well, by the time this out, I really shouldn't be saying that. What are conventions you will be going to, and what conventions will you have gone to by then? By the time this is out.
Yep. So, beginning of February, I'll be going to the Anime Gamer Expo in Fresno. Uh, end of
Ooh.
end of February, I'll be going to Stockton Con Winter. March, or is it April? SAC Anime Spring, I believe. I want to say it's either end of March or beginning of April. And then SAC Anime Spring in Roseville. And I think that's pretty much all I can think of right now that I will be going to, unless there's another convention I'm missing in between. But I
I
think,
take that back. Your interview will be out in May. My bad. Sorry, I
oh,
haven't looked
May,
at my
gotcha.
schedule.
Um, Unless there's something else in June that I'm not thinking of.
Well, I know there's
Or there
SAC
might
Anime
be
Summer.
SAC Anime Summer. I think that's usually in September, unless they're moving it up sometime. But yeah, definitely SAC Anime Summer in late September. Uh, yeah, I think as of right now, those are the conventions that I have planned.
Nice, very nice. Now on to talking about cosplay stuff and cosplay advice. For first-time cosplayers, or those who are thinking about wanting to get into that, what would you recommend they thrifting as a first thing, especially if they're on a tight budget?
Yes, definitely. I think it really depends on the cosplay, but 9 times out of 10, it'll be in your best benefit to go thrifting. And specifically, it's really useful for shoes. A lot of times, if I'm looking for a pair of boots, I'll hit up like the Goodwill and get a pair there rather than buying a whole new pair. Or there's some really good cosplay websites out there that sell the boots with their cosplay, but sometimes it's just like, okay, it's $60 for a
And
normal pair
sometimes
of boots.
sometimes they don't have the shoe in your size.
Right, exactly. So and especially too, uh, it helps to go in person and to go try it on, to make sure it really is to your liking, because you could always go online and order it in your size and it arrives and it's different than you know it goes with like any number of clothes. Sometimes sizes run differently between brands. You just got to get lucky. So being able to go thrifting and looking at it in person, uh, can really help.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. And for someone who wears shoes with their cosplays, I'm sure you recommend breaking your shoes in before going to a convention because if you don't, next thing you know, you get to your hotel, you get home, and your feet is just covered in blisters.
Oh yeah, and definitely get some heavy duty socks. I love to wear with pretty much any of my cosplays. I have like these athletic socks, so when you sweat, it evaporates quicker, so then you're not getting
And
a ton of
athletic socks are
blisters.
athletic socks words or and like you said, they are thicker and they're good quality.
Right.
When you first, because that's another question I'm gonna start asking from now on. When you first started doing this back in 2019, what was your very first cosplay?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I did a mashup of the homemade Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man 2099. Uh, it's two of like my favorite suits. I don't know why. I really loved the homemade suit from Spider-Man Homecoming, and Spider-Man 2099 is my favorite
Homemade,
character.
homemade.
If you couldn't tell by
Oh
the
yeah,
blister in the shirt, all-time
homemade
favorite. So I'm like, I
2099.
just I mashed it up, and it was a super comfortable cosplay. It was just sweatpants and a zip-up sweater and hoodie.
Nice.
It was very comfortable.
Nice. And for those who are who are maybe familiar with, hey, she is most known for cosplaying the Spider-Man 2099 suit. I can't remember his actual name.
It's Miguel O'Hara.
Thank you. I remember
Yep.
first hearing about him from the game that came out a few years ago, like on 360. But that's pretty. We'll get more into about the suits. Actually, might as well. For someone who wears skin suits like you've done for your X-23, your Spider-Mans, your Green Lantern, advice for those who are wanting to, do suits like that for their cosplays.
Yeah, so again, like I said, it's sometimes hard, if you need access to your phone. it can be a little difficult in the skin suits. Some of them are good about, you can touch it through it. And some of them are, close to impossible. Um, a tip that I've seen from some of my other cosplay friends is what they'll do is they'll take one of their fingertips and they'll slit one of the fingers on the suit, um, because a lot of times smartphones are, heat detection. So having that slit is basically your window to being able to use your phone. Um, and obviously, most of the time when you're at a convention, you're probably just trying to call somebody, or there's dead time and you're scrolling through something. You're probably only going to need that one finger to tap real fast, and then it's not like you're hopefully you're not trying to just communicate by text. And if you are, keep it short because it's going to take forever with that one finger.
Oh,
Um,
I believe it, and if you're and sometimes if you're lucky, not everyone with their smartphones, you'll have one of these things for your phone.
oh yeah, that's super useful too. Yeah.
There's a thing I saw, and I don't know much about it. For those who are another a little tip I seen, I'm not sure how accurate it is. There's these glove stickers that you can like put on your gloves, and you can easily use it to touch your phone screen. I don't know how accurate those things are, but that's also I think that'd be another good tip too, because I know not many people want to damage their suit by making a slit or
Right.
doing the whole
Make
licking the licking their finger the glove thing and then just
Yeah. Um, I would also say, if you do have the opportunity to get a suit that comes with the forearm zippers, definitely go do that. It's hard when you go to like easy cosplay. It's a lot of like mass produced suits. They don't like custom tailor it. But if you uh go to a company that like custom makes those suits, they can add that zipper, and even though it's a little extra, it's definitely worth it, especially too because if you're wearing that bodysuit out in the hot uh air, you can unzip it, air out your hands.
Oh yeah, no, and it's also good if you need to go to the bathroom to have that crotch zipper.
Oh yeah.
Um, since you've done a lot of those, what's it been like for you personally wearing the superhero suits as I call them?
Uh, yeah, it's been pretty fun. You know, uh, it makes me feel really epic and stuff. I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of cosplayers do what they do is it you reimagine yourself in like this fantasy world, and you're like, Wow, I can't believe standing right in front of the mirror that's me." It's that moment of shock, disbelief, and excitement to be somebody else.
Nice. Now, we're trying to think here. Oh yeah, the one thing I forgot to mention, I kind of mentioned in a previous podcast. I don't know how it. I don't know how. But I swear, though, people who go to conventions, especially cosplayers, they must have bladders of steel because it seems like they never go to the bathroom at all.
So again, it's like I said, a lot of people forget to drink water, and that's one of the reasons why they don't go to the bathroom. Um, but also, it's just like being distracted and just, oh my gosh, look at the vendors. Oh, look at this awesome panel. Oh, I get to meet, one of my favorite celebrities. You just kind of forget, uh, you know, and definitely going to the bathroom before you go to the convention definitely helps too. So, you're pretty much set. You just don't think about that when you're having so much fun.
Oh no, I don't think many people do, honestly. Now on to the cosplays you've done. What's that one cosplay you've not done in so long that you would like to bring back?
Ooh, that's a good question.
There's
Uh,
always those curveball questions I have on this channel.
so I haven't done homemade 2099 in a while just because I have like, the full blown 2099. But I haven't done I haven't done Green Lantern a whole lot. I think I've only brought it to one convention, and then I haven't brought it to anything else. So that would
Nice.
that would probably be the one that I'd bring out.
Oh god. What's the name of the Green Lantern character? I remember it was the one where she has like the Green Lantern symbol over her eye.
Yeah, that's Jessica Cruz.
Ah, okay, I remember first hearing about her in the Justice League animated film that came out like a few years back. Really love the character design for her, honestly.
I mean all the lanterns are really cool. In
Oh
all
yeah,
honesty,
no.
like that whole universe, I love it so much.
Nice. Now, before we continue on, I gotta ask, what was it like? Because I've seen it on your Instagram. What was it like doing Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 with respect?
Uh,
I'm
that was
curious because
so fun.
that looks like a lot of body paint over your guys' face.
Yeah, so the story for that one is uh we had ordered those suits not expecting them to come anywhere near Halloween. I think we were thinking about bringing it out at SAC Anime Winter. We didn't end up doing that, but that was our initial thought when ordering them. All of a sudden, I get a package and I open it and I'm like, "Oh, it's the Gamma suits. Do you want to be the Gammas for Halloween?" And she's like, "Why not?" Uh, so it's definitely the paint was actually kind of fun. It's definitely like tedious, but it was funny going through the process because in the middle of it, you really look strange. Um, so the way that we did it is you take a glue stick, and I know this is going to sound really silly. You take a glue stick and you rub it all over your eyebrows. So that way the paint will like stick to your eyebrows.
I have heard of that method when people want to change their eyebrow color for their characters. Cat, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. It's not the first time a pet or is made specifically cast or known to photo make
Photobomb, yeah, and I
or
I
make
I have a
appearance.
window right here too, so he's like, "I wanna look out the window."
You know, trust me. There's been many cats that have made little cameos
Yep.
on
"Oh,
this
hello,
series.
buddy. Hello, little one."
Mind showing off your cat?
Oh, here's one of them. This is
Oh,
Pacha. Hi, buddy.
what is it? Wait, what's his name?
Pacha.
Oh, like from Emperor's New Groove?
That's the name they had for him at the shelter, so we kept it.
I
But
love
yeah.
it. Uh, so yeah, body paint. Have you done other body paints before aside for Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 and Jessica Cruz's little Green Lantern tattoo thing?
Yeah, so I did Bowser a while back. I did like this punk rock
Oh,
Bowser.
I
Uh
saw your recent post on that on Instagram.
Yeah, so similar thing. You glue up the eyebrows, but instead I colored them red with eyeshadow.
Ooh,
So
that's
instead
a
of
pretty good
having no
method.
eyebrows, I had colored eyebrows. But yeah, and then you got the green on top and the yellow on bottom. That one I actually haven't done in a while. I think I specifically did that when I went to go meet Bowser at one of the SAC animes. That was pretty
Oh,
fun.
oh wait, the voice actor Bowser was there?
Yeah, he was at uh, I don't think it was last summer. I think it was either the summer before that or SAC Anime Winter before that.
That is pretty freaking cool.
Yep. And oh, that was surprising too. He had no line when I went and saw him. And I didn't even see him in the evening. So
What?
I went up to his table and he just started talking and talking and talking and another person came up, so I was like, I didn't want to be rude and be like, they want to go get their signature. So I go to leave and he just keeps talking to me and I'm like, wow, this is so awesome.
That is that's okay. Not gonna lie, that is pretty cool. So there's two other cosplays I want to ask about. I've noticed your X-23 cosplay. I noticed in one of your earlier because it gives me stuff to talk about. I recognize the Wolverine mask. Is that one you bought off of Amazon?
So yeah, it was one of the ones that was from Amazon and it was yellow and black and
And then you painted it?
and it had the punched out eyes. And then I went through and I painted it, and then I made the little white eyes that you see on the new
Oh
2.0
yeah,
version of
for
it.
I'll be showing a bigger picture when I edit this,
Yeah.
but for anyone like the attention to detail, what did you use? Did you use like a white mesh thing for the eyes? 'Cause I know some people use like stockings or mesh for the eyes.
Yeah, so first what I did is I took like the mini plastic water bottles,
Mm-hmm.
cut like the round part of that and glued it to the inside, and then just some like mesh I found from, I think it was like Hobby Lobby or something, and lay I had to layer it like 2 or 3 times, just so it's like you couldn't see my eyes through the mask unless you were standing up really close, and then just glued it to the insides of the little water bottle cutouts, and then boom, white eyes.
Nice. So I also got to ask, what is your visit? Two questions about your 2099 suit. Did you get that custom made? Because I'm looking at the mask and it has that pop 3D effect around the eyes.
Yeah, so I got the bodysuit design from this really awesome guy called Super Geek Designs.
Oh, I think I've
Uh,
heard of them. Does he have an Etsy?
I think he sells on Etsy. He sells on I want to say it's like Sellfy. I think it's Sellfy. It's like a Sellfy shop. He's also got like pre-made suits and stuff. But I really love getting uh his suit patterns. And especially when he has a lot of like 75% off deals. But yeah, I saw and I had this design for a good like 5 years before I actually had it printed, because I was like, oh, it's 75% off and it's a female shaded 2099. That's got me written all over it. Um, so I had the file sitting, and I recently bought. I want to get a new X23 printed suit, again from Super Geek Designs. So I have that design sitting somewhere. I'm just like waiting to see if I want to print it at some point. But at least I've got the digital file, ready for whenever I want to use it.
Nice. And the mask, is it easy to see through the mask? Because I took a up closer look because I've seen a lot of Spider-Man 2099s where it doesn't look like um there's like the eye covers, but I was like taking a closer look at yours and I can actually see like the eyes that you would put on the face shell. What's visibility like and how far can you see?
So, definitely all of your peripherals are gone. You've got no peripheral vision. Uh, so it's you kind of have to get used to it. I think for a first timer putting it on, you're gonna be like, how do people walk around with this thing?
Basically,
It's
you're
so hard to
like
see.
you're kind of blind like where is everything?
Yeah, but once you realize the weaknesses that you have while wearing the face shell and the lenses, you kind of get used to it and you kind of adapt. And I guess the benefit of my 2099 face shell specifically is whenever I'm outside in the sun, it's good shade like around my, like when you're like trying to block the sun like this, the mask does it
Mm-hmm.
without
Oh yeah.
having to put your hands up like that. So,
Nice.
I really love wearing it outside because it makes it a lot easier to see. Granted, you still don't really have your peripherals, um, but it's like I said, you kind of get used to it. And if you're like me, I don't walk the vendor floor with my face shell on, and so I
Mainly like
you
use
know
it for pictures.
Right, I use it for pictures, and then if I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna, like, walk the vendor hall and see if anybody wants a picture or something," just to, look cool, I'll put it on for a little bit. And, again, a lot of times I wear my 2099 on Sunday, so I've done most of my shopping anyways, so I'm not too worried about, like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss something because I can't see."
And this is a question I usually ask. I take it the Spider-Man 2099 suit is your, as I put it, your comfort cosplay. It's a character, it's cosplay you always enjoy doing.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's my favorite character, so and I love to have it as like the face of my Instagram account and stuff. So yeah, it's not necessarily the most comfortable cosplay, but it's a comfort cosplay in the sense of you can never really go wrong with it.
Nice. Now, another one. As I call them, what do you have a one and done cosplay? Is a cosplay that you know you don't really do a whole lot of. It's kind of like you weren't really big into it, and if you would bring it back, would you probably potentially update it?
So I think I have to say again, that's probably my Green Lantern one. I only wore it at my last Stockton con, or no, it was like Lodi Con, I think. Yeah, I wore it at Lodi Con once, and then just never put it back on again. I think it's one of the more uncomfortable bodysuits I have, so that's probably why I haven't done it again. Um, but yeah, I should probably bring it out sometime and you know get some more photos in it. I only have like four pictures that I use on my Instagram for it. So
Nice. Now, another question that's recently started asking, um,
so
from a
sorry, give
previous
me a
one.
sec.
Oh, you're fine. Drink your water.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
You alive? Don't die on me. I don't want someone to die on the podcast
And
now.
that's why I had my water next to me because I'm like, I knew that was gonna gonna happen.
So another question I recently asked, and sometimes people just bring it up in general. Um, Group cosplays. Have you done any group cosplays before with friends?
Oh yeah. I go to God, my voice.
You're fine.
Alright. Um, I do a lot of cat cosplay gatherings. So my sister got me into Dragon Ball. So I went to the Dragon Ball cosplay gathering twice now. She's had it. The
So
first time I went as Krillin. The next time as
I have seen your Krillin, and I gotta say, the bald cap is really well done.
thank you. And then I went to Gohan. I went as Gohan to the second one.
And I like the Gohan wig. I've never seen anyone do Gohan with silver hair.
Oh yeah, because that's the new Beast Gohan.
Give me a minute. I gotta look this up now. So you've done so you've done two Dragon Ball photo ops with
Yep, that's
friends.
correct. Yep.
Beast Gohan. I'm looking that up right now. Gohan Beast images. Oh wow. Good God. Holy crap. That's him?
Yep, that's him. He's got big old
Holy
hair.
jeez. Oh, mean looking son of a bitch. You are allowed to cuss on here. I will say I tell people you're allowed one F word because
Okay,
this series is PG-13.
gotcha.
Jeez, these how I gotta where'd you get the wig made?
So that was easy cosplay. Had the wig, and my sister actually got it for me for Christmas. Uh,
Nice.
so yeah.
Mind giving your sister a shout out?
Yep, of course. That's gonna be a re_spect
Oh,
on
that's your
Instagram.
sister. Oh,
Yes, that's
I saw a picture of you of your Beast Gohan with her Broly.
oh yeah. Yep. Uh,
She's definitely someone I gotta have. It's definitely someone I gotta have on this channel because I want to ask her about that Broly suit she has.
oh yeah, she super awesome, super awesome. Again, we're actually twins. That's why we did the gammas.
They're identical.
uh,
There are two of them. So aside, do you have any other favorite comfort cosplays aside from the ones we discussed?
so Again, I got to go back to the homemade 2099 because it's literally sweatpants and a sweater.
It
So
looks really cool, and it's really well made.
oh, thank you. It was super easy. It was my first time. Oh, hello, buddy. Sorry, he's coming down from the window. Come on,
Is this Pacho or
you
is it
can make.
another one?
This one is Stubbs. He was the black cat that you might have seen running around
The
earlier.
one who
No, you're
was
not
like
coming
trying to
down.
open the closet in the background.
Yeah,
I saw like when we began the video, then I saw your husband like pull him away from the closet.
yeah.
Speaking of, have you and your husband ever done any cosplays together?
We haven't done any like partner ones. But he's been Superman before. Oh,
I think
now
I
you're
actually saw that
deciding to
on
come
your.
down.
I think I actually saw that on your Instagram. He's the one with in the black Superman suit.
Yep. So he did that one
Nice.
time. He also did a Bloodhound from Apex Legends one time as well.
Ooh,
So,
nice. Now is that this is something I'm actually gonna start asking. Um, bef- right, this is something I'm gonna start asking early now instead of later. Future cosplays you are currently working on, or cosplays you're gonna be doing for the year, and cosplays. Okay, so let me rephrase that. A cosplay you're currently working on, a cosplay you plan on doing for this year, and then a character you would love to cosplay.
let's see. I've I'm trying to work on improving like my Gohan. My Gohan was like a throw together last minute because the gi just was not. And now twice I've had the gi is screwing up. So I ordered a gi from uh AliExpress that said it shipped and it never shipped, so I wasted $25. Um Ordered another one and it came in and it's way too big. So um I had to wear I borrowed from again Rhiannon is respect. Rhiannon's Piccolo gi because it's like the same thing. It's a purple gi.
It's pretty, yeah, pretty much. They're pretty
I
much
had to borrow her top, and then I had to go run to the store and I grabbed like a
for
pair of
anyone.
scrubs.
I'll be showing a bigger picture, but for anyone wondering, and again, the wig is really well made from you getting off of Easy Cosplay, but it's really well done.
But yeah. Oh, and then the red gator was literally just one of my sister's red long sleeve shirts, just tied around my waist.
That's pretty cool, though.
So, yeah, working to actually get like, an official like Gohan gi all set up.
See, I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's gonna be pretty freaking cool. Nice. So, the other two, well, one you plan on doing for this year, and a character you would love to do, as I call it, a dream cosplay.
So, as of right now, I don't have anything I'm actively working on. However, I have pitched to my fiance the idea of doing the Great Saiyan Man and the Great Saiyan Girl from
Ah,
Dragon Ball. I think that would be super
Videl
cute.
and
And yeah, Videl and Gohan.
the GT team, as I call it.
um, but I have pitched that, and I know that would be,
Oh, would be
you know,
cool to. That would be cool to see. And honestly, I can also see you do regular Videl since your hair is long enough to just do her
oh
double
yeah,
pony. I can't remember what the style is called, but
yeah, the double pigtails, I think.
that'd be pretty cool to see you and him do the GT team.
Mhm.
Um, in a dream cosplay, a character you always wanted to cosplay, but you've never got the chance to.
Ugh, that is hard. Um, way back before I started doing any cosplaying, I was like, it would be so cool to have like one of those like real life Iron Man suits because they're so complicated and the ones that I've seen are so detailed.
I
So
would
it's
so love to have an Iron Man helmet, the one
that
you
would be
just
so cool.
the voice activated ones.
Right? Yeah, and the
Oh,
with the moving face
hmm.
mask, it's oh,
That'd be pretty cool.
Mhm.
I feel like a good chunk of the people I've talked to on here, especially ones who do Marvel characters, like Iron Man, is on their list as a dream cosplay.
It's definitely one of those where I'm like, okay, I won't be unhappy if I never do it, but it's definitely thinking back, those when I first started watching the MCU, Iron Man was my favorite character, so I'm like, oh, imagine if I could actually be Iron Man.
That'd be pretty boss. Word I don't really use. Um, oh, excuse me. Now on to cosplay mishaps. Basically, a cosplay of yours while you were either getting ready for a con or at a con, it had ripped, tear, smashed, shattered, just anything that could go wrong did go wrong with it.
Ooh, I haven't had anything too bad. I'm trying to
Even
think
if it
if
was like
I've
something,
had
even if
any.
it was like something minor.
I had again probably another one of the reasons why I don't wear my Green Lantern again is just I think the way the zipper is made on it, it makes like the lower back really tight. So I remember like there was this tiny little rip that happened, on my lower back. So I'm like, and this was by the time, a lot of times I'll stay over at my sister's house, so we can all take the same car up to wherever we're going. So I'm like, oh, how am I supposed to fix this? So she's like, oh, let me just take the Gorilla Glue. It's like this fast drying super glue. Um, and we were able to just pinch the hole together, and it held up for the it held up for the convention. I was like, even even if it doesn't hold up for the convention, I brought like an extra pair of black shorts. It'll still work with the Green Lantern because it's got green and black, so it's not gonna look too stupid. But it held up for the whole convention, and I was like, that's really surprising.
Hey, at least it held up.
Yep,
I know sometimes that some people like, yeah, it's just a tiny rip, then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, it's not a tiny
huge.
rip it's not a tiny rip anymore.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's never fun. Now another one I always ask, and this is probably my favorite. Awkward, weird horror moments at conventions. As I call them, convention horror stories.
Oh gosh. So in general, there's always going to be like the really creepy people at conventions, and even if it's like if someone approaches me, I'm not just instantly going to be like, oh my gosh, like you're weird. Like I like to give people a chance, but there's some people that just have really creepy vibes about them. Um, and so like there was I'm trying to think of. I think it was at one of the SAC animes. I want to say. I don't know. I think it was me and my sister. We were sitting somewhere, just relaxing, and this guy, just kept talking to us, and then he moved on to this group of younger, like teenage girls, and just started talking and talking and talking. So I'm like, he's giving me a weird, he's giving me a weird vibe. So I like, I flagged down the girls and I made sure, like, are you guys okay? And they're like, we're fine, and uh, so he ended up walking away, and I think that's pretty much one of the, you know most horrific. It's not really like horrific, but it was definitely like really unsettling things. Um, that's just like, okay, you're like talking to you're someone talking to a bunch of like younger women, and at the time it's like, yeah, me and my sister are adults, but we from what we've been told, we kind of look younger than that, so it was just like, okay, this is a little strange.
Cosplay does not equal consent.
Yep, no, and especially too, it's like we were sitting there clearly relaxing, and then you just came and started talking our ear off. I'm just like, I'm all for a good conversation, y- you know, uh, but I was just like, I don't know, it felt it felt real sketch.
I, I get and understand that, and I think some people don't fully realize that.
Hmm.
Yes, they were a fun thing. Now favorite moments. Something for this day that it happened at a convention and it's like the best thing to ever happen, or
Ooh,
as I call it, as I call it, favorite convention moment.
ooh. Um, oh, so funny. My sister and I were looking at this one vendor that was selling like some anime figures, SH Figure Arts,
Say
and
what?
SH Figure Arts. It's like these
S
little like posable like little figurines. We
S
like to look at like the
H.
Dragon Ball ones, but they do have a couple Marvel ones too, which are pretty cool.
Oh, but actually, give me a minute. I found one. I think I know what you're talking about. Well, speaking of, uh,
Oh yeah, the new one. I want that one so bad.
that looks pretty. The attention to detail, like the rip on his pants.
Right. I have that one. It's from the same movie, but it's not with the silver hair. Wait, actually,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me see if I can reach
This one
it.
has like the interchangeable face, and it's a extra head with an LED light. I want one
It has
now.
a light. But yeah,
Well, the
I
one
have
I'm
this
looking at,
little one.
this one I'm looking at, this one I'm looking. Oh, I love that pose. I want one now. Like the only Dragon Ball character I actually have. I mean, since it's the golden Goku toy from Burger King from a long time ago.
Oh, that's actually super cool though. For a Burger
Um,
King toy?
yeah,
That's
my
super
mom,
cool.
I got it as a gift a while back. But honestly, that is cool. Now, is that a version of Gohan you would also consider wanting to cosplay his regular look?
I actually have the regular wig as well that I've done
Oh,
before.
so, oh, so you've done okay. So you've done old Gohan, as I would call it.
Yep.
Nice. That's pretty okay. Old Gohan, nice. But that's cool that you got to see those the figures.
But yeah, but actually that was just the segue into the story. We turn
Oh yeah, yeah.
around and we see
Continue.
we see this guy cosplaying the red Power Ranger, specifically from Power Rangers Dino Charge. And that's our favorite Power Rangers series. You know, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, it's Mighty Morphin or it's Time Force or it's no, we really liked the kind of more not obscure, but it's not the one people would pick.
It was mid 2000s Power Rangers. I know which one you're talking about.
So I pointed to him and I said, Rhiannon, look who it is. And all the other people that were also looking in the booth thought that I was pointing at a celebrity. So they all turned, every single person turned to look and just saw it was some cosplayer that I was super excited about. So we went and we got a picture with him and it was super awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna mark that down. Picture with red Power Ranger. Mhm. Shirt with red Power Ranger. I think that's always cool. Like when even if it's not like a celebrity, like when you see someone cosplay a character from your childhood, or people are and I think it's always wholesome when they say yes to a picture.
Yep.
In a way it's like meeting a celebrity, but at the same time, they're cosplaying something that you grew up watching as a kid.
Hmm.
I think that's always a cool thing. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Oh, wow, I'm going on for an hour here. I think the last question to kind of wrap this up now. Well, actually, one question before the last one. Have you ever had to deal with any con crunch, or last minute cosplay you wanted to do, but you ended up doing another cosplay just because of of the time frame?
So I think it would, for SAC Anime Summer, I had a lot of things in mind. I was like, oh, I kind of want to do Tails from Sonic, but oh, I also want to do Wraith because at the time, Wraith from Apex Legends was supposed to be at SAC Anime. Um, but I didn't end up finishing Tails. I was like, I'm trying to get I'm trying to get too many cosplays together in one go, and my bank account is suffering. So I didn't get all the pieces for Tails. And I got the bodysuit for Wraith, but I wanted to do some work because it was one of those where it was a whole bodysuit, and I was like, oh, maybe I kind of want to cut off, the feet so that I can like put on an actual pair of boots. And I was just like, it was just too much to do in one go. So I just decided, okay, I'm gonna stick with 2099. It was my first time doing the cosplay masquerade, so I was Honey Badger from the all new Wolverine comics. And then on Sun or on no on Friday, who was I on Friday? I can't remember who I was on Friday. Wow, I need to go back and look at my Instagram because I am not remembering who I was on that Friday.
Honey Badger, Wolverine, Marvel. I'm looking up right now.
With
Oh, okay. So X-23
so it
is
was
that?
actually in the I don't it might be hard to find over a Google search because I don't think it's officially called Honey Badger. Um, but they had a they had an issue where it's Gabby, which is the character that's right there, in the future becomes the Wolverine.
Okay,
So
and
she has
so,
like her
so
own special suit that she wears in the future.
nice. That's pretty cool. So last question. Just advice in general you want to give out there to those who are watching and or listening to this.
Uh, Definitely, if you want to get into cosplaying, just start simple. You can start like I did, where I wore a sweater and sweatpants, uh, and somehow it's turned into this because just do it because you love it. Don't do it because, oh, I want to be like those really famous cosplayers, or I really want to get like super super expensive, or like do it because you want to do it. It doesn't matter what type of cosplayer you are, if you're a builder, or if you're a buyer, or if you do it on a budget, or if you get like super expensive stuff. It really doesn't matter. Just do it because it's something that you really want to do.
That's some pretty sound advice right there. I mean, really sound advice. Um, this is grim. I think that I should do it again. Hey, thank you for coming on to share your cosplay and convention experience. Really looking forward to seeing how your 2023 con season goes, and looking forward to see what other cosplays that you'll be coming up with.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a
You
pleasure.
are very
This was
welcome.
super fun.
Now, last thing I do before I end these, would you care to promote yourself with those links so people can find you?
Oh yes, of course. It's gonna be Hayes Hays_hobbies on Instagram. You can also find my Facebook page as well, just the same, uh, except I think it's without the underscore. Facebook is weird. Um, but yeah, again, Hayes Hobbies. So yeah, pretty much those two platforms.
Be sure to check those out for be sure to check both those out for more amazing cosplays. Again, hey, thank you for coming on. And as always, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for watching.